All right. Oh, seatbelt. At the rest area. For this episode of the I-5 Drive, going up to Port Orchard. My plan is, since I had a fairly successful motor test last time I was up there, it's close to running correctly. I'll get it there. I'm going to change out the ropes on all the gear, or on the rigging. I got new rope for everything. And do some more cleaning and get the electronics hooked back up. And yeah, and possibly pull a sail and see what happens if the weather permits and it's doable. Because why not, right? Or if you can see anything in there. The screen looks bright. Anyway, let me get on the 5 here. There's a lot of traffic tonight. For Sunday. I wonder how well the audio is going to do. I've got this going through the microphone and it's close to me, so maybe it will work. Not even really sure what to talk about now, though. I have ideas at different times, and in my head I'll think through that idea and it'll seem all right, something worth sharing, but then I'll lose it. It's not free flow or whatever, free form. There's more to prime. A truckload more. There's another turn of phrase that rhymes with truckload. I think that's where they got the truckload from. It rhymes with truck, really. And prime. What is prime? Prime is what you do to a pump to get it to pump. Prime the pump. What things are pump? Well, their logo is an inflatable penis. So that's a big penis on the side of the truck, and there's more to prime, a fuckload more. If you chose to look at it that way. Otherwise, it's just a cool little arrow logo that's swooping around, and not symbolic of a penile, glandular human appendage. That's a conspiracy theory that's what it means. And in Starbucks, that's a conspiracy theory too. That's not a mermaid lady spreading her legs. That's just a Starbucks lady. She makes coffee. She squirts coffee out from between her mermaid legs. Yummy. That's right up there with Jaguar coffee. Jaguar beans. Jaguar beans. They feed the coffee beans to the Jaguar, or do the Jaguars just eat the beans? They get twacked out probably. They collect the Jaguar poop and extract the beans for their mild and smoothed out flavor. Jaguar poop. Yes. I don't need to digress on this drive talk because I'm not sticking to any subject, I guess. I might just talk about whatever pops into my head. Like, right when I said that, I pictured Gazoo, but I thought of the Jetsons, and I don't know why. I thought of the Jetsons, but I don't know why. Maybe I lost my mind. And then I broke into song as I passed the semi, who hopefully doesn't swerve into it, crash us into this bridge. Because we're at Vader Riderwood. Darth Vader Riderwood. Whoa, close to the wall there. Okay. Let's keep it between the lines and it's okay. Doesn't matter if you feel like you're upside down. That's what I told myself when I drove the 65 Comet home drunk one time when I was like 21. I'd taken the Comet into town, and I got kind of drunk, and I was headed back home out in Camas, and everything was just rotating slowly to the, down to the right and up to the left is what it felt like. My vision just tink, 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 kept doing that. And if I resisted it too much, it was problematic. So I just had to let it feel like I was rotating upside down, and I just looked at the road and was like, if that line's over there and that line's over there, then I'm on the road. It doesn't matter if I'm upside down or not. Which kind of brings me to a theory I've been kicking around. You know how they say our eyes invert the image because of the lens effect on our eyes? The image we see is actually flipped over, and they say that it's our brain, the software in our brain that flips the image back around the correct way to compensate for this lens inversion effect, right? But what if it doesn't do that? What if it's not that our brain's flipping the image back around so that it's correct with reality? What if we are upside down and the image doesn't need to be reversed? We think we're standing on the ground with something above us when actually we are pressurized, and we are like bubbles will float to the bottom side of a ledge, or things that float, can get trapped underwater, and they push up to the bottom of whatever is above them. So we're more dense than the air, is why we're on the ground, and the air is less dense, so it stays above us, and we stay below it. But what if, in some sense, we were the bubble being pushed up and our eyes weren't inverting that? I have a hard time wrapping my mind around that the two things are they're related, but it's hard to mix one with the other. I don't know. I don't quite get that one yet. Maybe that's a bad topic to go on to. I'll save that one for later. Not like my centripetal force videos. My centripetal force videos are spot on, and so is my vacuum one. I must say, if I do say so myself, there is no such thing as centripetal force. It was made up by Newton because he made up gravitas. He made up gravity. Because why? Because he's a Mason and they worship the sun. That's why they named a mission to the moon after a sun god. That makes no sense, but yet they did it. Oh, well, because they worship the sun, and everything's got to be about their god. The sun, like the sun rising over the people on Kaiser Permanente's logo and things like that. But where was I again? Sun, moon, logo, whatever. There's too many conspiracies going on at once. And they're not really conspiracies. There's too much bullshit going on right now that people believe to be make-believe. And we should not believe that things that are problematic and harmful to us are just make-believe. That's, I realize that it's troubling to live in reality. Nobody wants to think about and acknowledge the realities of what's happening to the people in real time in our present world. You can't talk about chemtrails every day with your family, or they will lose their minds and stop talking to you. It's terrible. It's like they don't even give a shit. Oh, well, there's nothing I can do about it. That seems to be the attitude. Well, to my answer to the there's nothing I can do about it argument is well, then why don't we get rid of the military and we can do away with these stupid police, because nobody can do anything about anything, and they're certainly not protecting us. So we could save a whole lot of money. Just do away with the entirety of our government. Get rid of it all, because nothing we can do about anything. It's our government doing it to us, but there's nothing we can do about that either, so we'll just have to let it all go, because there's nothing anybody can do about nothing, right? So why do we have elections and votes and voting if there's nothing that anybody can do about anything? Why do we have any of that presumptive crap about our legal system and our place in the world and the threat of wars and country versus country drama bullshit that's just played out on the media? It's been that way probably since the media was chiseled on stone tablets. Have you seen the new stone tablet? Oh no, Israel's been attacked. We gotta go save it. We gotta go save the most evil country in the world. The most evil and most powerful that runs everything secretly and behind closed doors. Oh, we gotta go save those poor people. Yeah, from those goat herders that are living in caves in Gaza that they've been bombing for 47 years straight, or something like that. 67 years straight. There's mass genocides going on all over the world. There's one going on in the United States right now. Did you know that? There is a genocide right now going on in the U.S. I could break a couple. There's a couple genocides going on right now in the U.S. The one that, not the first one that I was thinking of there, but the one that came to mind as soon as I said that was the Native Americans. It never stopped. The genocide on the Native Americans never stopped. It's going on to this day. It's changed its methods. It's no longer smallpox blankets and here we're gonna march you off to this reservation up here in this beautiful desert, or up here in these badlands where there's fucking nothing. Here, go live there, and we'll send you some help here pretty soon. See ya. Yeah, it's through child protective services and drugs and alcohol and the immunizations. They go onto the res and they just take the children if they have any reason, any excuse to it. It's not that necessarily that they're in a great situation either, but the government needs to stay the fuck out of people's families and businesses, their lives. It needs to stay the fuck up out of their lives. They go in there and create a problem and then say, oh, look, there's a problem. We got to take your kids. And then they go and fully vaccinate them all and make sure they get indoctrinated into whatever. And then they know that, their beliefs are bullshit and, we're on a spinning ball in outer space. And don't ever forget that. That's super important. You always know that we're on a spinning ball in the vacuum of space, right? They teach them all that bullshit. And then from whatever they get injected with that harms them, they die probably. Or they're just marginalized for the rest of their shortened and dysfunctional lives, which is really the plan for everybody. It's not just the Native Americans, but they're the ones that they were most intentionally focusing on, with the Indian Affairs and Child Protective Services and things of that nature. Just such bullshit. The next genocide in America is the Americans. It's on the Americans. Have you noticed that there are new populations being brought in because they're still healthy and can function and do jobs? I watch this in my neighborhood. It's like all the people that grew up here from, a little older than me or my generation even, Gen X's, are becoming very non-functional. Like they're just too old and they're, my this, my that, my disease, my disorder, my chronic ailment, my moderate to severe this and that is, messing me up, right? And they're bringing in Mexicans and Russians. I'm just saying Russians in general because they're speaking a Russian-sounding language, right? I can't really always tell the difference between Eastern European, dialects and whatnot. Some of them are probably Ukrainian, but maybe that's where the Ukraine supposed war money is going. It's actually being used to buy houses and new cars for all the Russians that are being brought to America to take the place of the Americans that are all dying now because we've lived here for our whole lives and been poisoned our whole lives. And it's time for another generation of slaves to move in from some other lands and be poisoned until they and their children are dying, and then they can do it all over again. God bless America. It's so great, right? Surgeon General has determined that there's no amount of metal oxide gases that could be introduced into the atmosphere that could pose a harm or threat to anyone's health. That's a conspiracy theory. And our fine, smart doctors know it's true, too. That's why they don't say anything about it. They don't even know they don't even know that conspiracy word. What's a chemtrail, the doctor said to me. I said, oh, the things that are sprayed in the sky, you know, the airplanes leaving all the trails. And she just kind of, oh, gee whiz, I didn't notice. I never look up. I only look at my notes down here when I'm checking my patients. Come on. Yeah, police don't know what a chemtrail is. Your doctor doesn't know what a chemtrail is. Your kid's teacher does not know what a chemtrail is. Or if they do, they certainly aren't going to talk about it. They're not going to talk to you about it. It's not going to get brought up at the PTA meeting. It's not going to be brought up as a possible source of your child's autism, even though autism, Alzheimer's, and arthritis, the 3 A's, are all directly related to aluminum and fluoride and, you know, concentrations in your brain. And it's been confirmed the fresh, high altitude freshwater lakes, like around Mount Shasta area, that have been pristine, like for all of history, are now toxically loaded with, guess what? ALBA and STR. Yeah, isn't that cool? Those pristine high mountain lakes are now harmful to drink. That was a long time ago. I'm talking, that was like 2013 or something, 2014. I'm trying to see if that's no, that's not a policeman up there, because his license plate light is out. If it was a cop, his license plate light would be working. It looks like a white SUV. Okay, moving right along. Yeah. The aluminum, the fluoride. Yummy stuff, right? Oh my gosh. We can breathe it all day long. It couldn't possibly harm anybody. These skyrocketing rates of Alzheimer's and autism and arthritis and cancer and COPD and type 2 diabetes and low testosterone, and the list goes way on more than I know. There's, you know, I heard my aunt say she had something, I don't recall what it was, but it was a new one to me. It wasn't advertised on TV yet, but it soon will be, I'm sure. Along with the water nostril cleaners and the chronic dry eye. You know, it's how many antihistamines there are now. There's like 80 kinds of antihistamine. We need another antihistamine, right? Like we need a hole in the head. But that is the basic breakdown of the American Medical Association's model. It's antihistamines. What do I mean? Well, I'm glad I asked that of myself as I'm narrating this. What I mean is, they don't want to find the source of or cure anything. They want to alleviate your symptoms, and that's what an antihistamine does. Your histamine response is your body telling you, hey, dipshit, there's something fucking wrong here. Like your nose running and mucus building up, or your eyes watering, or your sore throat, your chronic dry eye, your low testosterone. All these things are symptoms that are telling you there's something wrong. And instead of looking for the problem that's bringing these things on, their answer is give you something to stop your body's warning system from telling you there's a problem. Yay! That sounds wonderful, doesn't it? Hey, we can get all kinds of disorders, diseases, and fall over dead after a shitty life without having to feel it so much. Thanks, Dr. So-and-so. You're super cool for helping me with your antihistamines. We're smart. Yeah, we live in the greatest nation in the history of the world with the most advanced healthcare system. So blah, 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 blah. Yeah, shut the up with that. What the hell ever. Boy, it's kind of dark up here. I'm about to high beam these fuckers. They had to put a few street lights right here. I'm by Chehalis. Yeah, that's so, well, you know, I could ramble on and on about that, I guess, but I'm not gonna. What was I? Oh, I was talking about the centripetal force. The centripetal force. It's trippy. So Newton says that you spin something in circles, and there's a force that draws to the center. And that center force is draws to the center, makes you feel a resistance to a change in direction, because the thing that is, going in the straight line is now curving because of that resistance to the change of direction through the centripetal force that can either operate simply by something swirling in a circle, like in a whirlpool or a supposed orbit, or it can be like something spinning like a top with a solid piece connecting through. Either way, it doesn't matter if there's a solid piece there or not. The magic of centripetal force will just course itself right down into the center, pulling the outside edge of whatever is rotating or moving in a curved path into that non-linear direction, resulting in the false impression that there's a force pulling outwards, because there certainly isn't. No. It's pulling inward invisibly through or not through a medium in between. That makes perfect sense. Newton said so. Oh my goodness. That one is pretty easy once you get your mind wrapped around it. You're like, wait a minute, this thing, when I make a left here in the car and my mirror thing leans to the right, it's because the centripetal force is acting through the roof of the car down into the necklace and making it resist a change of direction, which causes it to swing out because of the centripetal force pulling inward. In Bizarro World, that makes sense. In this one, it does not, yet that's what we were told in school, if we ever learned about it at all. I think it was mentioned like once on one day, as they were forcing gravity down everybody's throat. And the reason centripetal force had to be a thing is because, well, centrifugal force is a thing. It pulls outward when something rotates or you go around a curved path. And this we know to be true. We can feel it. We experience it every day. But if we can get people to think that that's not true, then we can get them to believe in gravity, because it pulls down all the time too. And if you're on a spinning ball, you have fundamentally different motions going on at the axis of the spinning ball or at the equator of the spinning ball. So it's pretty obvious that unless you have some way of getting people to stop thinking about that outward pull of centrifugal force that would sling everything off of the spinning ball, they're going to think about that and go, oh, this is horseshit. But, they've convinced people that they're stupid and they're worthless, and they're accepting it. Oh yeah, I could never hope to understand the complexities of physics, so I'll just believe whatever I'm told and go get my immunizations. Oh, it's time for my fluoride, and I'm gonna die. Oh, too bad, so sad. Well, did the best we could here in America, greatest country ever, yahoo. Whatever. I don't even know what the fuck to say anymore. I get tired of hearing myself talk. My voice is bugging me. Yeah, maybe it's good for my throat though. Give my vocal cords a workout so I can start my rock band and make it to the top, man. We're going on world tour. We're gonna start like in my friend's basement. So because that's the first stop on the world tour is in my friend's basement. Because we gotta get some buds. Because he's got a grow operation. But it's the first stop on the world tour. You gotta have a lot of buds to go on a world tour. Unless you go to Amsterdam or BC or Colorado or Oregon and Washington. But I digress. No, I didn't digress. It's whatever I want to say. And I'm just about out of things to say because my throat's starting to hurt. And I'm just rambling on and on. Nobody wants to hear this shit. What the fuck? Have I said anything relevant yet? I mean, I think I have, but the jury's going to have to be out on that. I'm not sure. I may have said something relevant, but nobody cares. Nobody cares about stuff that's relevant. We want irrelevant things that don't matter and are trivial so that we can fixate on those instead of the condition of our lives, which is getting shittier by the minute. But we're going to pat ourselves on the back for being good parents and talk about how much we care about our children and their future as we're all poisoned to death and I pretend it's not happening. It's the American way. I wonder if I can stop this thing while I'm driving without crashing. I can if I push the power button, but I mean, come on. Yeah, there we go. I think I got it. No, yes. No. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't. I see the number still spinning. Man, I'm gonna have to stop and turn it off. Or I could just hang and work. I bet an F key will do it. Or an escape.